So you'll see combustion happening in lots of different contexts. So let's go back and look at our essential question for this unit, which was, why are wildfires so difficult to extinguish? Well, one of the things that we know about combustion is that it requires an input of energy in order to get it started. And so if you have your reaction creating energy, which is one of the things that needs to keep going, that's going to keep pushing that combustion to keep occurring over and over and over again as long as there's fuel and oxygen present. Now, if you can stop this from happening, you would need to do something to remove either the fuel, remove the oxygen, or remove the energy, the little bit of energy that's required to keep the reaction going. And to do that, we put water on a fire or carbon dioxide on a fire. And so, even though these are the things that the fire releases, we can put those onto the fire to get in the way of the combustion continuing to happen. So, water can absorb some of the energy, and carbon dioxide can basically smother the fire. Since carbon dioxide is actually more dense than oxygen, it will sink to the bottom and kind of smother, like sit right on top of the fire and kind of smother it. So, in a lot of fire extinguishers, they actually have carbon dioxide foam that sits on top of all of the fire and kind of prevents the fuel from accessing the oxygen. So, if we look at how a fire extinguisher works, let's see. You'll notice what's coming out of this is usually some kind of chemical, sometimes carbon dioxide foam, like I said, to sit on the fire and just prevent the fuel from accessing the oxygen that's all around it, right? So around all in the surroundings is oxygen. So anything we can do to cut those two things off from each other, that's going to be a good thing if we're trying to stop a fire. And and that's it. So a wildfire is so difficult to put out because there's so much energy being released and so much fuel that it's really hard to put enough barriers in between the fuel and the oxygen to prevent it from continuing. All right, so that is about the end of this unit. Um, we will begin our next unit, which really is starting off with the particle nature of matter. You'll need to understand what mass is, what matter is, because that's really where we're going to start, and then we're going to carry forward and keep adding on to our understanding.